Hello and welcome to the beFITbeFAB webinar series. Today our topic is going to be about boost your immune system so you don't get sick. I'm Coach Steph B from beFITbeFAB.com. So welcome. This is a little picture of me, Coach Steph B. I'm the founder of beFITbeFAB, and my principles are all based around mindset, nutrition and movement. It is a true one-stop shop for your health, wellness, and fitness. After living about 9 years in the tropics, I moved to New York City in 2016, and I was hit really hard by the cold and flu season during the colder months. I actually moved right in the heart of winter, and that made it extremely challenging. Being also a long-distance runner, cold and flu symptoms can really ruin my training and all my race plans. However, I was able to move my immune system and improve my condition dramatically by reducing my body's toxic load. So today I'd like to share with you some of my learnings and tips to help you boost your immune system too. So are you ready to get started? As I mentioned, with beFITbeFAB, you have a true one-stop shop to take care of your health, your wellness, and your fitness. My approach is based on 3 key fundamental steps. Mindset, because unless we put our mind to things, we really can't achieve them. So first, it has to be in our minds. Nutrition, because we can always improve the way we consume food and at what time we consume food. And of course, movement. We're all mobile, so it's important to keep on moving. By working together, you'll learn how to kick the bloat, the fatigue, the mood swings. And I'll teach you how to take care of your health and your well-being so you can be healthier, fitter, and of course, happier. As my gift to you today, at the end of this webinar, you'll receive a copy of the Boost Your Immune System guide and many more goodies. The knowledge that you're going to learn today is just a small part of achieving success. You need to get the support and take the action to create healthy habits that stick. And that's where I come in. If you want to chat a little bit more, my email is steph@beFITbeFAB.com. But first, let's dive in. Here's what to expect from today's webinar. Today I'm going to teach you how to identify the difference between cold and flu symptoms and what can be done to avoid such seasonal sickness. By working together, I will give you the tools you need to feel healthier and more energized and avoid getting sick, to be confident, to enjoy the beauties of the colder season and feel overall happier and healthier and fitter and again, happier. Really, my goal is to enable you to be healthy, to be fit, and to be happy. All seasons have beauties of their own, but it's really important to be able to enjoy them. And if you get sick, you usually don't enjoy them. And most of the time, people don't like winter because they get sick. At the end of this talk and this presentation, you will understand why everything is down to mindset, nutrition, and movement. I'm also going to introduce some of my programs that will support your efforts to help you take action. And of course, like I mentioned, you'll get a couple of goodies and a Boost Your Immune guide and much more. If you can't wait until the end of the presentation, then go ahead and press pause and drop me an email straight away. I won't be offended. But please do make sure you listen to the end of this webinar because there is a lot of vital information that I'm sure is going to make your fall and winter and spring seasons so much better and more comfortable. All right, so first let's understand the difference between the cold and the flu symptoms, because both of those tend to be quite mixed up and confused, and they're actually 2 very separate types of sicknesses. Let's take a look at the cold symptoms. Many times, you know you feel ill, but you're not sure if you have the cold or the flu. The reason it's important to make the distinction is because they're treated somewhat differently. And while the cold is something you can handle at home, many cases of flu really require to see a doctor and to seek medical attention. With a cold, the symptoms tend to be less severe. They often include congestion, a runny nose, a cough, a sore throat, a croaky voice, feeling tired. You may have a slight fever, but it's often not too severe. You may notice these symptoms for a few days or up to a week. The cold usually lasts fewer days than the flu. What's quite important when you have a cold, though, is a lot of the time we tend to ignore those symptoms and we just power through them and keep on going to work. That's where one of the big mistakes is. The moment we start feeling those cold symptoms is when we actually need to slow down and stop and look after this. This is a sign. Our body is giving us a sign. Alert, alert, we have a problem. Mission control, we have a problem. Okay? And this is when you really need to listen to those signals and to those signs and take the right action to look after yourself. If you just keep going, you're going to wear yourself out and you may eventually catch something a lot worse. Also, you're going to be spreading the germs everywhere you go, and it's just going to be a vicious cycle feeding itself throughout the season. Let's look at the flu symptoms. With the flu, expect to experience your symptoms for a longer period of time and often a lot more severely. It may start similar to a cold with a sore throat, a cough and a congestion. However, the flu leads to really bad headaches, high fever, a worse cough, muscle aches and pain. You may also notice that as the flu progresses, you start experiencing severe fatigue to where you can barely get out of bed and move around. Often comes with a lot of body aches. Some people with the flu may also experience diarrhea and vomiting, and that will reach out to the stomach flu. And since you are at risk for dehydration with the flu, you should see a doctor for proper treatment. It's really important. If you suspect flu symptoms, go and see a doctor straight away. We live in a world where bacteria and germs and viruses have become stronger and stronger and extremely resistant, that we need to make sure we seek medical attention, because some of these sicknesses can start off as nothing and then can be extremely detrimental to our well-being, our health, and our future. It can be, in some cases, vital. If you have infants at home or elderly people and you suspect they may have the flu, don't wait. Go and see a doctor. It's really worth it. So now you're asking, well, what are the natural ways that I can give my immune system a boost so I avoid getting these horrible symptoms, right? I hear you. So, first up, and I mean, this is not rocket science, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but living a healthier lifestyle is really key to avoiding getting sick. In general, being a healthier person and living by healthy habits can help you fight off illnesses and infections and give your immune system a natural boost. This will mean focusing on daily habits that you might need to improve, such as eating a healthier diet with lots of vitamins and minerals, reducing added sugar intake, exercising regularly, drinking plenty of water, being mindful of the importance of your health and well-being, of your body and soul. Also, getting the adequate amount of rest and sleep is extremely important for your general health and wellness, and particularly in the colder seasons. The cold season requires our body to produce a lot more energy to stay warm. It needs to produce heat. So it gets tired a lot faster. So it's really important to give it that little extra time to recover and to rest. I know it's easier said than done, but to be honest with you, you can actually get better sleep, and your sleep quality will improve when you're eating right and you're exercising as well. For your diet, you might want to try focusing on whole foods like fruits and vegetables, on switching to whole grains and complex carbohydrates, low GI foods, and cook more meals at home. Again, if you're struggling for recipes or for ideas or for meal plans throughout those seasons, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. I have monthly meal plans which come with a whole plan and schedule of the different types of meals you'll be having for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for snacks, and even for dessert. It includes the recipes and the shopping list that's associated. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you feel you need some support in that area. And while there is no specific time recommended for exercising, because as long as you exercise, we need to make sure you keep moving. That's the most important goal. But when it comes to nutrient timing, on the other hand, it's key to basically knowing what types of food to consume so you can feel energized in the morning, ready to take on any challenge the day might bring, as well as very relaxed in the evening, preparing the body and mind to wind down and to get ready for a good night's sleep. A great herb for boosting the immune system is to take echinacea. In terms of herbs and other natural remedies for your immune system, it's definitely high on the list. Echinacea has natural properties that will help you boost the immune system, help you fight off bacteria and viral infections more sufficiently than if you were not taking it. There are many ways to get more echinacea, whether it's supplements or just using the natural herb. You can also find honeys and teas that are enhanced in echinacea, and those would be a great starting point. Other herbs and natural boosters, propolis. If you can find some propolis-enriched honey, it's great for the throat too. Honey, of course, is a natural antibiotic. Thyme is a natural antiseptic. Use the dry herbs to make herbal thyme tea. Now, as I promised, I'm going to reveal to you a recipe my father taught me when I was about 10 years old, and I was starting to come down with a really, really bad cold, and we were about to be going on a skiing holiday, on a skiing trip with school, and I really did not want to miss out, but the teachers had made it very clear any kid that rocks up with a sniffle would be sent straight home because they did not want to have to deal with 50 kids with the cold or the flu. So it was that evening, I was in the kitchen with my dad, feeling miserable and thinking, oh boy, I'm going to miss out on the trip. And my dad said, no, here's what we're going to do. He picked up a small saucepan out of the kitchen cabinet, filled it with water, and added about 4 heaped tablespoons of dried thyme herb. Brought it to the boil, and then covered it and let it simmer for about 4 to 5 minutes. After simmering, turn the heat down and just let it sit for another about 3 to 4 minutes. Then he poured it into a cup. He juiced 1 entire lemon into that cup, and he added a large teaspoon of honey. I drank this throughout the evening, 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, had a good night's sleep, woke up in the morning absolutely fresh as if nothing had ever happened. And that has stuck to me ever since. Whenever I feel I'm not going to be okay the next day, I suspect I may have a cold, I take thyme, and it just clears my system. Rosemary is also a natural antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Eucalyptus, of course, is great for improving breathing and for clearing the lungs. You could put it in some hot water to do a little bit of inhaling. That would be a great idea. Or just rub a few drops on your chest or on your back to help you breathe better. Tea tree is a natural disinfectant for the home. However, do not use tea tree and eucalyptus on surfaces if you have dogs, because this tends to be a little toxic for them. It won't harm them so much, but it's not great for them, so it's best to be avoided if you have dogs. Lavender, of course, the queen of herbs. This is great to enhance a relaxed mind, for sore joints, and just overall general soothing and well-being. Of course, lemon is fantastic for the added vitamin C. Now, a little quick note on citruses. A lot of us tend to misinterpret that when we have a cold or flu and when we're sick, we need to increase citrus for the vitamin C. The reality is only the lemon will actually work. Whilst oranges and grapefruit are great for their fiber, they contain a little too much fructose, which is actually going to cause and create inflammation in the sinuses and could make the body produce a little bit more mucus. So not necessarily the best option when you have a cold or you suspect you may have the flu. Ginger, a great root, fantastic for energizing, tonifying, and creating some warmth. Ginseng, as a tonic, a ginseng tea can also replace a coffee and give you that added energy and boost. Cayenne is great to create some heat. And of course, Epsom salt baths, they're always amazing. So one of the things I like to do when I start coming down, if I suspect I'm coming down with cold or flu, I'll make my thyme herbal drink that my father taught me and that I shared the recipe with you a few moments ago. I'll run a very, very hot bath. I'll put about 1 to 2 cups of Epsom salts in the bath. I'm going to add about 5 to 10 drops of lavender, 5 to 10 drops of eucalyptus, 3 drops of cinnamon essential oil, and then I may not add any other oil that I feel is going to help me. Sometimes lemon balm is nice, but if I just focus on lavender, eucalyptus, and a couple drops of cinnamon, that's going to be fantastic. It's going to really heat, it's going to help my body relax, and it's going to help my body absorb, because my body's relaxed, it's going to absorb a lot better all the benefits from the eucalyptus. And the cinnamon is really going to help my body create some heat. I'll then get out of the bath, dry myself off, and go straight under a blanket. I'll add a few layers. I'll go under the blanket, and I may experience some sweat. If I'm experiencing some sweat, it's because it's my body that's really getting rid of whatever toxin or bacteria is stuck in there. So I just let it sweat. It will take usually about 30 to 45 minutes, after which I tend to get changed. I may have a little warm shower just to rinse off if I feel that I sweated a little bit too much, and then I'm ready for a good night's sleep. Okay, so why don't you try it and let me know how that goes. Now, don't forget or don't ignore probiotics. Probiotics might just seem like a trend or a hot topic. That's only because of how beneficial they can be for your body. Probiotics are often promoted to people who have digestive issues and especially a leaky gut. However, you can also boost your immune system by ensuring you have the best protection possible from the cold or flu. And probiotics can provide bacteria for your body, but it's a good type of bacteria. So this allows you to absorb better and more of the nutrients into your body and help support your immune system so you can fight off the bad bacteria. You can take a probiotic supplement, or you can also just eat a healthy diet to ensure you get enough of them through natural food sources. Personally, I'm a strong believer of less pills is better. So I'm not a huge fan of taking supplements or taking too many supplements. I'm really a strong believer that we should be able to get everything from what we eat. Here is my little daily booster, and you may want to try this. So upon rising, take a moment to wake up, breathe deeply, scan the body and the mind to detect what you need today. This is one of the things I teach you when we work together. Then you want to prepare and drink the following: a tall glass of hot water with 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and half a juice of lemon. Optional add-ons, depending on what the needs of the day are or of that week, might be ginger, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, or a crack of pink Himalayan salt. Drink calmly, and then follow by a tall glass of just plain warm water. Take a moment to sip. Add a little movement whilst you are preparing breakfast, some light stretching, for example. No matter what time I have to get up at, and sometimes I do have to get up at 4 a.m., I make a point in sticking to my morning routine. And here's what I also do. I actually soak my feet every morning in a bucket of hot water with some Epsom salt, and some essential oils. I tend to use peppermint and lemongrass in the morning. I find it extremely uplifting and energizing. Also, it's great to help prevent plantar fasciitis. I spend a lot of time on my feet all day, whether I'm coaching, whether I'm training someone in the gym, or whether I'm actually training myself. So for me, it's really important to make sure I look after the soles of my feet, because after all, they carry me around all day. Here are a few simple hacks for preventing the flu. Disinfect your home regularly. If you're like most people and you like to have a nice clean house, it's sometimes not just enough to vacuum and to clean up. You also need to focus on cleaning the surfaces with a disinfectant, and this is something you want to be doing regularly. So before you start cooking in the kitchen, disinfect the kitchen top, the working space, tables, door handles. Those are things that you want to remember to disinfect quite frequently because that's where bacteria tends to stay stuck. If you don't have a lot of time, you can also use disinfectant wipes. So you can quickly wipe the surfaces like the refrigerator and the oven handles, the countertops, bathroom services, like I mentioned, doorknobs, and anything else that is touched frequently. Reduce dampness. Believe it or not, the amount of dampness in your home can also make a huge difference in whether or not flu germs are spread. Studies have shown that homes with high levels of dampness can be more susceptible for a family getting the flu. They found dampness can cause present flu germs to be spread on surfaces and in the air as it lingers a little longer in the moist. So a great way to avoid that is to get a dehumidifier. Of course, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you also want to avoid dry heat. Dry heat will tend to irritate the sinuses and will put you at a high risk of catching a cold. The best is to have a regular hot shower or a bath with some eucalyptus and lavender, so you're keeping your lungs and sinuses happy. Also, if you don't have time for a bath, you can boil a pan of water with a few drops of essential oils and just leave it on the stove for a few moments so that it just disperses a little bit of steam with a little bit of the goodness from the oils. Do be cautious in offices, subways, stores, and particularly when shopping, hopping from cold outdoors to overheated indoors. That's when we put ourselves a little bit more vulnerable at catching a cold or the flu. Super important, reduce sugar and refined carbs. Processed foods are so unhealthy, and things like extra sugar and carbohydrates are really not good for the body. They're really going to load you up with toxins and make your body a disease-friendly environment, which is what you don't want. You're trying to avoid getting sick and staying healthy. They're harmful for your overall health. They increase the risk of getting the flu, but if you stick to a healthy diet, if you reduce the sugar and reduce the carbs. Now, when I say reduce the carbs, I mean the refined ones. I don't mean the good quality whole grain complex carbohydrates, okay? You'll also notice once you quit sugar that you'll be less susceptible to this type of virus. If you're not sure how to do this, check out the Dangers of Sugar webinar, as well as the Sugar Cleanse and the Quit Sugar for Life programs that I have. I teach you how to eat this cake without the added sugar. And that's true, my friends. Really important as well is to have a sick room. If one member of the family gets sick, you want to avoid everyone else getting sick. So you can designate an area in the house, in the home, in the apartment, whatever it is, just a space that is dedicated for that sick person. If you only have one bathroom, really insist that you have these disinfectant wipes near the bathroom, near the toilets, and that every time someone uses the bathroom, they give a quick wipe to avoid spreading more germs. Just see it a little bit like a quarantine zone. You may need to get creative, but that's fine, because here what we're trying to do is protect yourself from catching someone else's germs. So consider the following. To avoid catching a cold or the flu, you need to stay healthy, okay? So consider having maybe a morning routine to set your mindset, to set your mind right, to set your intentions for the day. Clean up your nutrition. Once you've set your intentions right, for example, today I'm going to have a clean and healthy lifestyle. Once that intention is set in your mind, you will be able to clean up your nutrition, remove any toxic load by quitting sugar and eating clean. Apply all the tips to look after your home, and of course, get more energized by adding movement to your daily routine. So again, mindset, nutrition, and movement are key to avoiding catching the cold and the flu. So, are you ready to get started? My approach is based on 3 fundamental steps: mindset, nutrition, and movement. And as I mentioned, with beFITbeFAB, you have the one-stop shop to take care of your health, your wellness, and your fitness. By working with me, I will teach you how to kick the bloat, kick the fatigue, kick the mood swings. I will teach you how to take care of your health and well-being so you can be healthier and fitter and happier. As my gift to you today, if you email me, I will send you a copy of the Boost Your Immune System guide, and I will also give you access to the 7-day Sugar Cleanse Challenge. Plus, you'll receive an early bird link to the next webinar, How to Eat Clean. What's the cost of not taking action? The knowledge that you just learned is only a small part of achieving success. You need to get support and take action to create healthy habits that stick. And that's where I come in. So thank you for tuning into this webinar. Boost your immune system so you don't get sick. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. My email is steph@beFITbeFABB.com. Again, if you email me on the back of this webinar, I will send you the Boost Your Immune System handout and guide, which is about 4 or 5 pages of lots of the tips I've mentioned here and so much more. I will also give you access to the 7-day Sugar Cleanse program, and when my next webinar comes out on clean eating, you will receive an early bird link so you're able to watch it before anyone else. Thank you again so much for your time. I hope this has been useful and that you learned the tips to be able to take care of your health, boost your immune system, and avoid these nasty flus and colds this cold season. You have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, and I shall look forward to hearing from you very soon. Bye.